It is North Central Netball time here on the Flow Friday Sports Show. Kylie Walsh, the Association President, joins me on the line. Kylie, great to have you again. How are you?
Very good, thanks, Alice. Definitely finals weather here in North Central anyway.
Is there a buzz?
Yes, there is, yes.
Fantastic. That's what we like to hear. And we wouldn't have it any other way, mind you, with you. Well, let's get into the week that was with the senior A grade side of things, starting with the game between Charlton and St Arnaud. This one finished 57-39 Charlton's way. How'd you see it? The third place side getting over the bottom side, so no real surprise. But
No.
Did the results say much about how Charlton might fare in the finals?
Yeah, it was a big victory for Charlton, as we sort of thought. But I think it's still preparation for Charlton for the finals. They took the opportunity to experiment with different combinations on court, and despite their adjustments, they maintained their dominance throughout the game, proving effectiveness for their strategies. Banana attempted to disrupt Charlton's flow by making a few changes in mid-court, and that tried to improve their transitions down the court. However, Charlton's strength and adaptability ensured they finished off their final meeting in the season on a high, but they were too strong for St Arnaud for their last meeting together.
4 spots between Bort and Donald on the ladder, but not a massive differential in the scoreline in the end, 52-37. Comfortable enough for Bort, but Donald will be happy that they were relatively competitive, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And Bort would have approached the game against Donald with a focus and determined mindset, and that's what you have to do against Donald, where they can often pose a threat. But Ford only made some minor adjustments to their lineup towards the second half of the match to ensure that they remained aligned in their game plan and the goals they'd set. Ford secured a comfortable victory, 52-37, but Donald had a really good reason to celebrate, particularly with their strong performance in the final quarter. They actually won that quarter by 7 goals, so that's a really positive takeaway for their team. But there was a really special highlight of the game with mother-daughter duo Miller and Sarah Adams playing together for Donald. And that's a remarkable moment because Miller only plays 14 and under and some 17 under games for Donald, but she also represented 15 under squad. So her step up to A grade against a team like Bort is a testament to her maturity on court and, of course, the support of her teammates. So particularly the role of goal shooter. So, but despite this achievement from Miller and Sarah together, Bort were just the dominant team throughout this match, securing a well-earned victory for them.
Big win for Bridget Watcham against Wycheproof Narraport, 61-22.
Yeah.
Not sure many people would have seen this be as comprehensive as it was in the end.
No, but despite that, it really had, with the weather and the atmosphere at Wycheproof on Saturday, it had the intensity of finals. There was work signs and umbrellas and various activities for the kids around the court, so it really felt like finals. Wycheproof Narraport netballers had the added thrill of a training session with Melbourne's Vixens player Kate Eddy and Rudy Ellis on Thursday night, and that was probably really inspiring for their junior players going forward. And then we had the presence of Vixens legend Sally O'Donnell and Netball Victoria's Pam Ferrari on the court to further elevate the day's significance. But on court, as you said, Bulls proved too strong for the Demons. Although the scoreline was conclusive with a 61-22 victory for Birchip Watcham, the Demons really made Bulls work hard for their goals, but Bulls effectively utilised their rolling subs and they adjusted their combinations without losing any momentum. And Demi Foote from Birchip Watcham was deservedly the work-safe best on court, presented by Shelley O'Donnell, and that was thanks to her speed and dominance through the mid-court, and that's a performance she's been a hallmark of Demi throughout the season. But Birchip Watcham capped off their final home and away game of the season by awarded the WorkSafe Cup and rewarded a solid victory over Wycheproof Narraport, hosting their final game at home as Demons.
First place side Wedderburn Redbacks, way too good for Nullawil, 51-28 the final result. Now, I guess the silver lining for Nullawil will be that at least they can get a bad loss out the way and forget about it in the lead up to finals.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really thought this was going to be a closer margin, but that scoreline 51-28, I don't think it would have captured the intensity of the game on court. Nullawil came out strong, taking the early lead, but Wedderburn quickly found their rhythm, applying constant pressure and making the most of every turnover opportunity. The unique highlight of this game was that the 4 Fawcett girls were together on court for the third quarter for Nullawil, and that was a really special moment for their family, especially against an opponent like Redback. But Redbacks have, with recent efforts, found the right combination, and that's clearly paid off, showcasing their well-coordinated team performance. And they've been carefully managing their players to allow crossover of grades in finals, and this strategy has been really evident with their confidence and a really composed win over Nullawil as the season reaches a critical stage. So Wedderburn's strong form is cohesion, and it's really served them well over the past few weeks. And we had Sea Lake Nerdally with the bye.
Let us know how that ladder's looking then after 15 games into the 2024 season.
Yeah, well, there was a slight alteration post last weekend's games, Alice, and with Wedderburn on top with a clear 4 points of Fort. So they're set their positions, those 2 positions are set for the weekend this coming. Charlton are third on 40 points. Fourth and fifth spot are interesting. They swapped following Nullawil's loss to Wedderburn at the weekend. So Burchett Watcham are back in the 4 this week on the same 36 points as Nullawil, but unfortunately for Burchett Watcham, they have a bye this weekend. So unless there's any upsets, you'd imagine that Nullawil will go back into the 4 after round 18, and then we have 6th place Sea Lake Nerdally Tigers on 32 points, followed by Donald, Wycheproof, Narraport and Tanana.
There we have it. Let's go for a bit of a traverse around some of the other grades and age groups. Tell us what is most pressing going into the fixtures tomorrow, Kylie. What should we be looking out for as potential blockbusters?
Well, we can start right at 14 under A. They're still sitting with a top 5. We have Tanana sitting 4th and Fort sitting 5th. Ironically, they play each other on Saturday. So Tanana needs to win this game to stay 4th, but for Bort to win, a comfortable win, will actually put them into the finals. Nullawil are sitting 6th. Similarly, they can win. They could threaten the 4th, but I think their percentage will let them down in the end. So it's going to be a very good game with Tanana versus Bort to see what happens with that final platter going to finals for 14 under A. We have our 14 under B is set. That top 4, 17 are set. As we were just talking with A grade, it depends on the outcome of the Nullawil game against Wycheproof Narraport, whether they'll push Burchett Watcham out of the 4 as they currently stand. We have B grade set at the moment, and an interesting game coming up with C grade with Sea Lake Nerdally Tigers 4th at the same points as Wedderburn Redbacks, both on 38 points. So they both, a win for both of those could alter, a win or a loss, I should say, could alter the 4th and 5th positions going into finals. So that's going to be a really interesting game, but and C reserve set. So there's a couple of games that we'll be watching closely to see what the outcomes are.
Oh, you bet we shall be. Well, Kylie, back over to you. Just looking at the A grade, we'll get some predictions out of you for the games that we have lined up for tomorrow.
Sure thing. So we're heading to our final home and away game of the season, and this is a Bendigo Bank round for all hosts, and we thank Bendigo Bank for their sponsorship throughout 2024. We have Sea Lake Nerdally Tigers hosting Charlton. This game promises to be an exciting matchup between the two, because they were recently, as you remember, they were vying for the top 4 spot, both of them. So both teams still have a bit to play for. Charlton will be focused on delivering a strong 4 quarters to solidify their third place position and build confidence into the finals. Sea Lake Nerdally Tigers, however, are playing for the 4 points as well, naturally, and a strong victory for them could potentially flip their final standings for the season. So they both have motivation for this game ahead. We have Tanana hosting Bort. Bort's expected to be quite dominant for this final meeting of 2024 season. Their recent form are likely to be far too strong for their opponents, and similar to their approach of previous games, I imagine they'll want to put in a solid 4-quarter performance just to use this as a critical preparation for their upcoming finals campaign. They'll be focused on maintaining momentum and fine-tuning a few strategies that they'll have going into finals. We have Donald hosting Wedderburn. This match is going to be a great contest on court, but I think the final scoreline might be won't capture the intensity of this game. The Redbacks have hit their stride in the past weeks, finding their strong cohesion and combination that they've brought them a lot of success recently. And I imagine they'll be eager to deliver this same rhythm and a commanding performance against Donald. And a win for Wedderburn will finish their home and away season as minor premiers and that's extra motivation for them. We have Nullawil hosting Wycheproof Narraport. This is a final home game for Nullawil, and that marks the end of a significant area for the Maroons, both on and off the court. Their entry into the North Central Netball Association has been nothing short of impressive, elevating the competition level and seamlessly adapting to our association bylaws. And over the past 2 seasons, Nullawil have not only been a formidable competitor, but also a valuable asset to the North Central Netball Association. So we congratulate them on their achievements during their time in our association and their other successes previously leading up to this point. So it's a fitting final game of the season against Wycheproof Narraport, especially as they both prepare for their upcoming amalgamation. So this match will no doubt be filled with celebrations and memorabilia as the clubs reflect on their rich history, and look forward to a promising partnership in the future with Wycheproof Narraport. But beyond the formalities, I think Nullawil will be determined to secure a strong win over the Demons as they've slipped out of the top 4. So this victory will restore their position back into the finals and set their stage for a strong campaign as the Maroons close their chapter of their history. And we have Birch Watcham with a bye.
Kylie Walsh, where are you going to be snooping around this weekend?
Yeah, I'm not too sure where I might pop up yet, Alice.
Rightio. The mystery card. I love it. No mystery about how good your work is here on Fly FM, though, and we very much appreciate it. Kylie Walsh, the Association President from North Central Netball. Enjoy all of the action. We'll speak to you next week.
Thanks, Alice. Have a good weekend.